Hello lovely people, how are you all today? I do hope you are well. I am, if rather hot. I've got my fan to hand. Oh, I've been needing it a lot. It's very humid today. As you can see, we're indoors. I was hoping to do this video in the garden today. It's not a gardening video. I just thought we'll have one of our chatty videos in the garden. However, you can't see obviously, but behind you, it's behind you, low, thick, quite dark clouds. It's partly why it feels so stuffy and humid today. We have been threatened with rain. Oh, we need it. Oh my goodness, we need it. Let's hope it happens. So yes, no garden for me today. If it doesn't rain today, then I'll be back at the garden first thing tomorrow to water again. This is a day off from watering. Hurrah! Anyway, so yes, enough about the weather. Just thought I'd have a bit of a chatty catch up today because all sorts of ideas have been pinging around and there's things I want to show. There's some props. I love a video with props. There's going to be a taste testing. I'm going to be tasting something later on camera. Oh, looking forward to that. But anyway, one of the reasons for this video and a bit of a theme for this video was a really gorgeous package that arrived in the post, I don't know, it's probably about a month or so ago. Obviously, because I've taken some time out from YouTube and social media, some of the things I'm going to talk about today, I don't know what order videos are going to come out, so I might have said it already or ones to come. There's stuff that's going back to April or May even. Doesn't matter, it's fine, it's still relevant today. Anyway, so I received a package from my lovely friend Joanne. Thank you, beautiful. And I squealed with delight. I might even have clapped as I opened this little packet. So perfect. She had sent to me some sheets torn out of her local newspaper in Canada, and it was the section of the newspaper that's got the puzzles on, so crossword, Sudoku, the killer. And I think this was following on from a video I made, I think right back towards the beginning of May, when I was talking about wanting to do puzzles as brain exercise, and I bought that book of killer puzzles at my charity shop, and they just weren't hard enough. Anyway, so Joanne sent me this packet of puzzles and a lovely little notepad and a greetings card with her little bit of writing on, and then a really beautiful little card and envelope that she picked up in Florence, really decorated, gorgeous, absolutely lovely, perfect little packet. Just before I go on to talk about that, I was mentioning it when I was in the plot one day to my neighbour, and I was telling her how delighted I was about this packet with the puzzles from the newspaper. And the next day when I went to the garden, she turned up with about a week's worth of her newspaper, or the section in the middle of the newspaper that you pull out and it's got all the mind puzzles in it. She went, there you go. I said, oh my goodness. So I've got a very local source now of puzzles to exercise my brain. They were really quite difficult. There was one of the killer puzzles. I think they've got them in 5, I was going to say strengths, not strengths, 5 levels of difficulty. They have moderate, challenging, difficult, super difficult, and fiendish, or something like that. And there's 2 killers per day. And most days one of them is either the super difficult or the fiendish, and they really have been. They've kept my brain working really hard for, I think one of them took me 22 minutes. That's great for my brain. Anyway, I digress already. It's been a while since we've chatted, you see. So, back to Joanne's parcel packet. So I immediately got onto my email to say thank you so much, I absolutely love it. And as I was saying to her in the email, it's what I'm going to just explore a little bit further with you all. By the way, this was the notepad. It's really cute, so that bit's cut out, you see, it's like little valises, and then on each page there's a little heart in the corner, just to remind you to love yourself, love your day, love what you're doing. So I wrote to her and I said it occurs to me just how many of the things in life I love, and it's all very simple stuff, but how much of what I love in life is based around paper. I am proper analogue. I am a real analogue girl. I just paid for something yesterday, which I'm going to show you in a second, and I paid. She went to get out the card payment machine, and I was like, no, do you mind me if I pay in cash? She's like, oh no, I like that. Anyway, yeah, I'm old school, I'm analogue, I like paper. And I started to make a list of the things that I love which are associated with paper. It gets quite long. And I was thinking maybe you can all make your own list too. We'll play a little game. So the top of my list, obviously, books. People say to me, oh, get a Kindle. No, I like having the book. I like handling it. I like the smell of it, whether it's brand new or an old book. I like the feel of the pages turning in my hand. I like the cover art. Yeah, I would never go Kindle. Please don't tell me to go Kindle. So yes, books are paper. I love them. And then of course, bookmarks. What are your bookmarks? I have a collection. I know this sounds really nerdy. I think I might have mentioned this before, that you can't just use any old bookmark in any old book. I pair my bookmark to the book I'm reading. If I'm reading, I don't know, a 19th century work of fiction, I'm not going to use a bookmark that's for an exhibition of Russian futuristic art, if you see what I mean. They've got to match. So yeah, bookmarks. Get on with the list, Vivi. Paper things that I love. Newspapers for the puzzle pages. Yay! And I know, because folk were saying, oh, you can do all these puzzles on the computer. But I can't have the computer in the bath with me, and I can't have the computer in the bed with me. I mean, I could, but I don't want to. Another folk was saying, well, why don't you print them off? Well, I don't have a printer. That's another long story I won't go into. But also, I don't want to spend my money printing out sheets of puzzles and the cost of the paper and da-da-da. I'm perfectly happy to have someone's old newspaper. What better thing associated with paper than, and I've put 3 things together for this, letters from friends, birthday cards or greetings cards of any sort, and postcards. Words from friends written on paper that arrive in the post are so special. I love it. I've got a whole box full of, I keep special letters and special cards and special postcards. I'm not a hoarder, I don't keep everything, but I do keep really special ones. And I think over the years how, you know, it's great. Email is great. Facebook Messenger, it's great because it's really instant. If you really need to get in touch with someone really quickly, brilliant. But again, anyone who's been watching me for a while will know that over the years, I've encouraged you from time to time to, if you've got a collection of postcards, unused postcards in a drawer somewhere, or some old greetings cards in a drawer somewhere, we've all got one of those drawers, haven't we? Go and fish a postcard out. Write a postcard to a friend that you haven't been in touch with for ages, or even one that you are in touch with. Let's say it's a friend that you're in touch with by telephone regularly, or even that you see in real life regularly. Just drop a postcard to say, no reason other than to let you know how much I love you. What a gorgeous thing to receive in the post. Because I think most of the post we get these days, frankly, is bills, probably, isn't it? So I love that, and I'm going to show you a couple in a second. I want to show you this one before the others very quickly, because I'm going to carry on with my list. This was a letter. I'm going to hold it up, but I'm going to cover the content of the letter. This came from Olga. Oh, I can see the date at the top of it. It says Monday, the 8th of May. That's how long ago it was. But, see, I'm just holding that in the middle so you can't see the words. Can you see the decoration around the edge? It's little fairies. It's almost sort of, it's autumnal, isn't it? Isn't it adorable? Little butterflies. Olga, I loved this. I loved receiving it. And what I really love about this notepaper she's used, she made it herself. She's chosen those images from all sorts of other different sources, laid them out together and then copied it and made it into her own notepaper. Even more special. Gorgeous. Thank you, Olga. I loved that. I mean, I loved receiving your letter anyway, and reading your words. But then when you mentioned in the letter that you designed, I had a really, really close look and thought, gosh, that's so special. So anyway, yes, carrying on with paper things I love. Paper fan. Oh, this fan. I paid £1.50 for it, I think, in the charity shop last summer. It's quite an expensive make. I did see in the end, not that I care about that, but it comes from a designer called Noah, as in Noah. I don't know, it probably would have been a tenner new. But yeah, paper fan, oh, lovely. So yes, more paper. Notepads, oh my goodness. Now I know that there's a load of you who are stationery addicts too. Addicts for things made from paper, not addicts for standing still. I'm a stationery addict, I'm not moving. Yeah, so there's, oh, we're not on here. It's gone over there. I love notepads and notebooks, and I differentiate between the two. A notepad, either spiral bound, but it's, you know, you tear off the page and it's scrawling notes, to-do lists, things you need to remember, things you want to look up, etc., as opposed to a notebook, which is something more where I write into it and it's something I would keep. So it might be in the days when I was writing for the blog, my blogs would get written in a notebook, beginnings of short stories, poems, that sort of thing. Whereas a notepad, it's a kind of a more disposable thing, isn't it? And I loved the timing of this one. It had arrived when my little table here next to the sofa, I always have a notepad on it, because then if I'm listening to a documentary and I hear something that I don't quite understand, or I think that's really interesting, I don't know much about it, whatever is, if it triggers something, I'll make a note, and then that's for me. I can think, right, this is something I'm going to read about, do some looking up, do my own research, find out more about it because it's intrigued me. So I always have a note. Also for things like, if I'm, again, I might be listening to a documentary and then I suddenly think, oh, they might mention a cat or something. I think, oh, I haven't got any nibbles in the shed for the cat. Write down, buy cat nibbles. You know what I mean? My brain fries all over the place all the time. So I have notepads kind of everywhere. There's one by the bed, one by the sofa, one in the kitchen. I should have one in the bathroom actually, just for that kind of jotting. Don't lose that idea. Don't let it escape into wherever. I wonder how many of our thoughts each year come out, go into the ether and then get blown away and lost forever. Probably a lot. So yeah, notepads for lists, notebooks for journaling and writing short stories. Paper train tickets. What could be more fantastic, fabulous, romantic, lovely than a train ticket? A train ticket and a book and a notepad. There we go, 3 things made from paper that would just, they make me happy. This comes up, oh no, I'll paper bags. Paper bags. I'm going to come back to paper bags. Also made from paper, seed packets. That's one of my other joys in life. A packet of seeds, isn't it? And again, that's another thing when it comes through the post, when a friend shares seeds. I was talking to Paul recently and I said to him that I've made a bit of a mistake this year. I harvested all my broad beans. There weren't many. That freeze in December, 10-day freeze, did for them. And then, so I did my harvest. I've eaten quite a few already, and the rest, they're in the freezer. And a few days later, I was in that bed to dig it, to prepare it for what went in there, courgettes. Courgettes went in. I didn't dig the whole bed, no way, but I was digging holes for each courgette plant just to try and, just to break it up a little bit. And as I was digging, I was thinking, something's wrong. What's wrong in this bed? And I suddenly realised, you idiot, Dummkopf, I'd forgotten to leave one of my broad bean plants for seed saving. So when I was chatting to Paul the other day, I said, have you got any of my seeds left? Can I have 2 back? Or when you save from your plant, can you save just 2 seeds for me to carry forward to my next hopefully next garden. Anyway, so he'll do that. But that's a lovely thing to come through the post, isn't it? All seed packets, oh my goodness, I love them. And I think, I get a lot of my seeds from Vital Seeds and from Seed Co-op, and they're very simple packets, paper packets. There's no glossiness, so they can all go in the compost bin when they've finished use. But how much excitement is contained in that packet, how much possibility. Oh, love it. And then if it's a homemade seed packet, or not even a homemade packet, but just simply an envelope with your friend's handwriting on it, saying what's in it, it's seed they've saved for you. It's in their handwriting and they send it to you in the post. Honestly, I know these are crazy simple things, but think of the pleasure. Well, I know how much pleasure I get from all that sort of thing, but think how much pleasure we get from paper things. And they're humble items, but so enriching. Now the other thing I put on my list was paper bags, the things that come in paper bags. Food, for example. I've got something to show you. And I was thinking about, I have my big brown paper bags that I hang the lavender in the shed to dry each year. And I've also got this one here that I've brought home. This is actually the brown paper bag from, if you're in the UK, you'll recognise it. If you're outside the UK, Boots is one of our main high street chemists. They're on so many high streets. And another reason for me loving this area, our high street has a Boots. So this is what our prescriptions come in. And yes, I'm finally a person who has a prescription. I've managed my whole life to not have prescriptions, but now, oh, I think that motorbike needs a prescription. Sounds like it's got gut rot. But now I have a prescription for pain relief for my knees, and it comes in this big brown paper bag. And of course, I'm not going to throw it away. I'm going to find a use for it. So in the brown paper bag are, probably dropped already, if I can show you gently. Do you know what it is? Can you see? Oh, and you can just about, can you see that little black speck in there? Most of them have dropped already. I'm not going to pull them out because what's there will fly everywhere. This is chive seed saving. I can see, oh actually, you might be able to hear. You hear already a load of the seeds have dropped already. This is the first time I've done it in my garden. I'm saving some chive seed. Normally I just leave them alone, and then towards the end of the season I might cut them down a bit, or actually the easiest thing with chives is I run my fingers through the plant and just sort of tease and pull up, almost like running your fingers through hair, but having a slight grip to it. It kind of pulls out the dead stems. But yeah, normally I just leave them alone and they've self-seed in it, and it's filling that little border edge in more and more as the years go by. But again, I can't remember if it was, oh no, I'd spoken to Paul after this, but one of the things I've been thinking, it might have been after I'd clocked that I'd forgotten to save my broad bean seed. You know, the majority of the garden that I've sowed this year is from saved seeds, my own saved seeds. And last year, I can't remember if I mentioned this in a video or not, but last year, because I'd got it into my head that I was going to give up the garden, I thought I would have given it up by now. Now I think I want to keep it. Oh, I can't bear to let it go. Just to say very quickly, I am loving the garden this year more than ever before. And I think, oh, maybe I should explore this in a completely separate video. I'll explore it in a separate video because we're supposed to be doing particular things today. Anyway, so last year I didn't save as many seeds as I normally would, and I got to the end of the year and I suddenly thought, oh, fortunately I still had saved seed from the previous year, so I'd got my 2021 saved seeds to use for sowing in 2023. This year I'll remember to save seeds. And I'd been thinking about when I go to my next home, even if I don't have a garden or much of a garden, there are certain things that I want. In a way, I've created this sort of an heirloom with some of my seeds. Some of my seeds are into their 10th, 11th generation. Some of them may be even a little bit longer. But these are seeds that they might have come into my life in 2009 and I've never bought seed again. I've just kept saving my own seed. And I think in particular the Coco de Paimpol and the Gigantes climbing beans, both of those, two different friends, given a handful of seeds, like 7 or 8 seeds for each. And I've sown them, grown them on, so that now I have my own seed library, if you like. And I was thinking, yeah, when I move, I really do want to bring with me my own seed library. It is my, in a way, it's kind of like my work, and I want to be able to pass it on to someone, even if it's not me. So I have been thinking a little bit more about seed saving from the garden this year. And I was looking at the chives one day and I thought, yeah, I'll save some chive seed, why not? I might have some space for some chives because I adore those gorgeous wee flowers in the spring. I don't really use chives much in cooking, but those big fat buds that start showing at the beginning of May, and then that gorgeous explosion of pale purple all through May, and the bees love them. So yes, other things that I love made from paper include paper bags for doing some seed saving, and then a paper envelope to put my saved seeds into. Simple, gorgeous. Oh, crikey, it's getting so humid. So humid. I'm just looking at, it's getting darker by the minute, although the camera's working really hard to pick up what light there is, but I just had to stop a second and go into the kitchen. The kitchen window, bathroom window, it's all open. What I notice normally when we get we're supposed to be having quite a big rainstorm, thunder, lightning, I'll believe it if I see it. And generally before the rain comes, I feel the wind. I guess it makes sense as the front is coming in and the isobars get closer, the winds pick up. But just popping in the kitchen now, the air is dead still. There is not a breath of a breeze, not a breath of air today. Thank goodness for my fan. I just want to... this top, by the way, I've just thrown my strings inside. It's very summery, it's very seasidey, isn't it, with the blue and white stripes, and then just towards the bottom, the red and white stripes. I picked up in a charity shop. Hurrah! Oh my goodness, I was getting desperate. So do you remember back in May, I'd had my shopping trip to buy bras and hopefully just 2 or 3 summer tops, because I've only got 2 summer tops. One of my summer tops, it has always felt, it just feels really kind of tight around the arms in terms of making those sorts of movements, and I can't stand feeling tight and restricted in my clothes, especially for the garden. I like to feel kind of free and easy breezy. And of course I've been in the garden a lot to get the garden up and running and to get everything else planted. I was pretty desperate. I was wearing the same top for 3 or 4 days and then thinking, am I stinky? I'm stinky, take it off, wash it. And yeah, so this was from my local Oxfam. I'm really chuffed with it. It's really light, it's just cotton. I'd gone into that local Oxfam to look at their books. I was going to look at their books. This sort of caught my eye and I thought, is it going to be big enough? I mean, it's massive. Look, you can see how it's plenty big. In fact, you could probably get 2 of me in here. I don't care. I much prefer my clothes big and baggy and billowy and airy than tight. £3.50, thank you very much. One of the only bits of spending I've done recently. We're coming on to that in a second. But yeah, thank goodness for, well, like I said, I've got 2 summer tops, but one of them I haven't been wearing because it feels, it's all right for going out in or doing my shopping, or if I'm sitting at my desk working at home, it's perfectly fine for that, just not for the garden because, anyway, so I've kind of discounted it and I was thinking I've got 1 summer top. But now I've got 2 again. Brilliant. It's so comfy. And I love these colours. These are my colours. I love blue and white. I love stripes. It's seasidey, it's nautical, it's me. Now, what else? So, because we might get a bit short of time, let's crack on with this. Let's mention the paper bag. Now, oh my goodness, obviously, because I haven't been doing YouTube, very much at all, that's meant my income has taken an absolute clobbering. Let me just say right from the outset, because the trolls will jump down my throat about this, this isn't a pity party. I'm managing perfectly fine, thank you very much, nor is it me asking for money. I do not want anyone's money, don't care, no thank you. I see to myself. But yeah, it's my income has taken a clobbering. So, and I knew that was going to happen if I stood back from social media for a while. I knew that would happen. You know, sock it up, buttercup, I'm prepared. So I basically knew I'd be able to cover my bills and that would be it. There'd be no spare money. Forget your shopping money, forget anything. But crikey, that would be hard. That would be really, really hard, wouldn't it? And let's face it, we all need something to look forward to. We all need little treats, that, like I said, that thing to look forward to. And someone said to me when I did the solstice video, actually 3 or 4 different people asked if I'd been on holiday because of the colour of my skin. Have you had a holiday abroad? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I haven't got money for a holiday. I haven't got money for a holiday in my own neighbourhood, never mind an abroad one. No, definitely not. That would take a lot of saving. And besides, at the moment, until this last month that's just gone by, that's been particularly low income. Otherwise, what I've been doing is I have my 350 quid for my bills, 100 quid to live on for the month, and any penny over and above that is all going in the house fund. Every single penny has to go towards that move. So it's been a really tight budget, and like I said, this is not a pity party, this is a let's just get inventive. We all need something, to look forward to, we need a break, whatever it is. And so I decided, because it's the summer as well, I love fruit to eat in the summer. I don't grow fruit apart from my blueberries, I don't have the space. But it gets to the summer and I really start craving fruit. So I said to myself, partly from my penny jar, I said, you know what? How about if I allow myself 50p a day for a fruit treat? Now, it kind of got prompted by the blueberries, and I'm looking at the blueberries in my garden every day going, come on, ripen, ripen, get there quicker. I'm dying to eat them. They weren't ready, but I saw that Tesco had a load of cherries, and I thought, oh, I just can't wait, I can't wait, I can't wait. So I went into Tesco's and I bought a punnet of cherries, and this is where the 50p thing came in. They were £2.30 for a tiny punnet, about 200 grams. It was so expensive. I mean, goodness me, they were gorgeous. They were absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, it's working out at, it's over £10 money per kilo of cherries. So I thought, sorry, I'm just taking hair off the back of my couch. So I thought, you know what, £2.30 for a little punnet of cherries, it's too much. What can I do for 50p a day? Now, my local greengrocer, that's always a better bet, isn't it? Because they sell fruit loose. So you don't have to buy a whole punnet. Anyway, so I popped over the road to them, and I kept, every day I was like, where are the cherries? Where are the cherries? And she said, we're not going to get any in this year because they're just so expensive at, you know, £10 plus per kilo. And I was like, oh, I really want some cherries. Anyway, they've got some in now. For slightly, actually this was 52 pence it cost me. Can you see? 5 cherries. This one's on a 3. Look at that. I love that. 3. So that's my 50 pence treat. So this is this my 3rd or 4th lot of cherries now? I think it's my 3rd or 4th lot. These were yesterday's purchase. Hang on, sorry, crinkle, crinkle. That was actually yesterday's purchase, and then I didn't end up eating them yesterday, so I probably will have them today, but I did my purchase today, and this is what I'm going to try with you, because I don't know whether I'm going to like it or not. So, this fruit today, I'll show you in a second. Every day when I've been coming home from the garden, because they've been quite long days in the garden when I was trying to get everything planted up in that 2-week gap at the beginning of June, wasn't it? So every day when I was coming home from the garden sort of 4 o'clock, 4:30, 5 o'clock, 5:30 even. I think the greengrocers close at 6. The greengrocer, it's on the same side of the street as me, so it's facing south, just as I am. And it's not a shop where you go in through a front door, and you know, maybe glass panels either side and you go in. The whole thing is open to the street. So it's more like a hole. It's like a shop, hole, shop. So it's completely open to the street. In fact, some of the produce just comes slightly out into the street. And this particular fruit is in the very front section, so they've got a kind of a shade awning, but by maybe 3 o'clock in the afternoon the sun can still get to the fruit that's on the edge, and because of that it's warming the fruit up. So literally every afternoon that I've been coming home from the garden, oh my goodness, the smell, it was just gorgeous. The air for a few metres either side of the shop is filled with the scent of, let me grab it, with the scent of these little flat donut peaches. I don't know what you all call them. At the greengrowers here, they just call them flat peaches. My sister calls them donut peaches. The smell and the texture. Oh, now, this is my sister's fault. Okay, so the reason I've got my cherries from yesterday, is I hadn't bought any yet because they were selling them 3 for £1. And I was like, well, that's breaking my 50p rule, my 50p a day. So what I've done is I've used today's 50p and tomorrow's 50p, but it gives me 3 fruits. But actually, because I didn't have my cherries yesterday, I'm going to have the cherries today. Actually, I'm going to have this today with you. But I've got 3 pieces of fruit for £1, so that's 3 days. That'll do me. It's just about having a bit of fruit every day for 50p. So, these gorgeous little, what do you call them? Do you call them donut apricots? Flat apricots? My sister is nuts for these things. We were on holiday together. It was her family, as in my sister, my brother-in-law, their son, my nephew. It was the first time they were taking him away overseas. There's all sorts of complications, which is why it was the first time. And they were going to a little villa in Spain near Granada. I say villa, little finca, little tiny little place. And she said at the last minute, she said, look, we've paid for it anyway, why don't you come? I said, I can't, I'm broke. I've always been broke. So, well, we'll pay for your flight. In exchange, you can do some babysitting while we're there. And I was like, are you kidding? I'll babysit my nephew. Of course I will. So it meant that they could go off and do their own thing. And me and my nephew, who was he 9 at the time? I think he was 9 or 10. We could just basically play in the swimming pool. There was a little pool in the garden. There were orange trees and lemon trees, so we'd go fruit picking, or we'd make orangeade and lemonade, so that by the time mum and dad came home, it's like, look what we made. And hours and hours and hours under a gazebo playing Uno. Little cheat. He's a little cheat. I'm kidding. Probably me that was cheat. Anyway, so this is how this apricot thing came up. Oh my goodness, she's nuts for them. And she would eat them by the bucketful. She would eat them until juice is running down her chin, except she wouldn't do that because, unlike me, my sister is considerably more ladylike than me. My sister is very kind of, I always think of her as being the sort of petite, pretty, well put together one, whereas I'm the galumphing idiot one. Anyway, eat one, eat one, eat one. Now, I've been convinced all my life that I don't like apricots. But I mean, it smells lovely. Maybe it's something to do with the texture of the skin. It feels like skin. Maybe that's why I didn't ever want to eat it. But anyway, I'm going to try it. I bought 3. I better blooming like it. I'm nervous. I've just put my napkin in my... look, my napkin matches my top. My napkin in my lap. Here goes. Mmm. That's such a subtle taste. I think, hang on, I think I prefer the smell and the texture to just stroke my face with than to eat it. But I don't know what to make of it. It's juicy. I mean, I don't know what to make of it. It's not unpleasant in any way. I don't think, oh, I don't like melons. I hate melon, all kinds of melons. Don't write in. I know people are going to think I'm weird. I hate melons. So I don't dislike it. But it doesn't have a very strong taste. Because the smell, maybe it's because it's a cloudy day, maybe it needs to be warmed by the sun. The smell has been so strong in the street every day walking past that doesn't correlate with the taste. It's not much taste. It's very juicy. I quite like it. Crikey, what's that? Hold on. Oh, it's a stone. Okay, if you're eating an apricot for the first time, remember it's a stone fruit. It's quite a chunky stone. Right, well. I mean, I like it enough. I'm not going to finish this on camera. I'll finish it off camera because it's getting really, really, really juicy. I liked it. I like that enough. Don't know why my sister goes mad over them. It ain't all that. Maybe it's just the one I've got. Maybe, because I've got 2 more, maybe they will be more, they'll have more taste to them. I think one of my reluctances is with apricots over the years. I can't believe I just had a bit of apricot. Yay! Or is it a peach? Is it a peach, not an apricot? I don't know. Oh my god. I'm 50 something and I don't know the difference between a peach and an apricot. It's a peach, isn't it? Sorry. I'm sorry, people. Honestly, sorry. But peaches and apricots, both of them, are not something. I've got a bit in my tooth now. Both of them are something that I've not eaten because I've got it in my head that I don't like. That's a blimmin' peach, isn't it? Not an apricot. Maybe I'll try an apricot one down camera too. Anyway, yeah, I mean, it's nice enough. Would I buy them again? Well, that versus, oh, I'm not going to have one of my, just if I put it there you can see, can't you? I'll bring it up. Put it this way, that peach versus, oh, there's no comparison. Cherries win. The cherries win every time. These are really, really lovely ones. They're sweet, but they've still got a slight a bit of tartness to them. I like that combination. I like my fruit to be sweet. That's why we go for fruit, isn't it? It's that sweet treat. But I don't like sickly sweet. I like that bit of tartness. Oh my goodness, these cherries are gorgeous. Yeah, I would happily. Woman cannot live by cherries alone. Says who? Listen, I'd scoff a kilo of cherries if I was given the chance. I would. They are beautiful. Okay, so there's the difference. I've had a couple of bites of my peach. Nah, whatever. It's okay. Look, I'm really glad to have tried it because it's one of those things. It's been a bit of a mystery for all these years. It turns out I don't hate peaches, but it also turns out that I prefer the smell of them on a hot day in the street than the actual taste of it. But you know, it's fine. I'll eat them. I won't waste it. But you can tell the difference in reaction between that and the cherries. The cherries win hands down. Maybe in a future garden, in a future home, maybe I could have my own little cherry tree. I could kind of do some espaliered cherry trees if I've got a narrow garden. That's something I could think about doing. But you have to really be on it with the nets because the birds love the cherries too. Anyway, look, there were other things I was going to talk about, but I think I've probably gone on for long enough today. So I hope that was a fun little catch up. I can't believe I'm getting mixed up between peaches and apricots, but listen, you can test me on vegetables any day of the week. I've eaten them all, I think, pretty much. I'm sure there are some things which we don't grow in this country which I've never tried, but I know it probably to a lot of people it seems ridiculous that a woman of my age has never tried and doesn't know the difference between apricots and peaches. It's just never been my thing. I'm glad I've tried now, but that's the end of my peach adventure. Yeah, and it's that those thoughts about what are the things in life that really bring us pleasure. Not big things like, you know, big parties, or a day in town, a massive shopping trip up in the West End, or that Caribbean holiday for 2 weeks. I'm not talking about those kind of pleasures. I'm talking about the kind of pleasures we can have at home on an ordinary day when we're on our own. It's not a special occasion. I've got a peach in my tooth. Just those really, really simple things like a book, a bag of cherries, a crossword puzzle, a paper fan on a hot muggy day, a train ticket leading us to an adventure somewhere else, a packet of seeds. All those things made from paper and filled with utter pleasure. So a massive thank you to Joanne for prompting that stream of joy with her little packet. Thank you to all of you for hanging out with me for a bit of a chat today. We'll do it again. We'll do another chat soon, but hopefully back in the garden. I think I'm really going to try and make the most of the garden this year, partly because I am blooming loving it so much, but also, you know, in terms of a setting for, you know, an on the sofa video. Well, an on the sofa video, we can do it in the garden. It'll just be on the garden sofa, if that's a thing. I'll make it a thing. All right, lovelies, stay well, look after yourselves, and treat yourself to 50p's worth of fruit today. Maybe try a new fruit. You never know, it might be the fruit of your life and you didn't realise it. Peaches aren't the fruit of my life. Cherries are. Yum, 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 yum. All right, lovelies, I'll see you all again soon. Until then, cheerio. See what I did there? Cherry. Cheerio.